preparing to live stream the meeting. So, but I don't think it's on the right YouTube.
Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. That's what it says.
Oh, it is on the right one. Preparing to live stream the meeting. So, but I don't think it's on the right YouTube.
Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
There's a
Oh, it is on the right one.
Preparing to live stream the meeting. So, but I don't think it's on the right YouTube.
Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Oh, it is on the right one.
Nightmare. Live stream the meeting. So, but I don't think it's on there.
All right, stop it. Stop the meeting.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Oh, it is on the right one. Nightmare.
Live stream the meeting. So, but I don't think it's on there.
All right, stop it. Stop the meeting.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Oh, it is on the right one. Nightmare.
What the fuck? That is a fail.
Wait.
One was watching. So
Who was watching?
someone already had hopped on. What the hell? Okay.
Who was watching?
I don't know. Someone already started watching our live stream. Shit.
Okay.
So that's a fail. So how do you?
No, it's happening right now. It's on.
No, I paused it on my.
Oh, you paused it.
Is it like I paused it on my? Maybe I have to close my YouTube so I'm not listening to. So maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe we're live. Sorry, sir, the one watching. Thank you. Welcome. So I'm just gonna shut my YouTube then. Let's see if we. Oh wait, unable to. Shit.
Oh, you can't. Well, now it's not doing the.
Did it say it was live? Unable to access YouTube with. Oh no, that's just that. Does it say anywhere that we're live somewhere? Like. Shit.
Oh yeah, it's live right now.
You can see that? Okay. Did it say it was live? Unable to access YouTube with, oh no.
It's live.
Okay. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we'll get going here. This is our first live. My dear friend Caitlin obviously. Luckily we're not, so what I'm gonna do though is push record. And
okay.
Yay, this is so exciting.
Yay. Old ladies on the YouTube.
Old ladies, old menopausal midlife.
We lived without cell phones or technology
for a long time.
For many years.
I'm gonna record. Okay, welcome to our live. Yay. And so
yay, okay.
I'm really excited to be here with you. We're both doing this for the first time. And I know I like when other people do live. So we're gonna discuss today subtle energies and how to read them, because that's basically our whole entire reality is energy, being able to read energy. And that's what I'm able to do. Is since I was born, been able to come in, read energy, read people's frequencies, just naturally. And so I've been coined the Akashic Records librarian, AKA I know everything. No, that's my Aquarian, just kidding. We're gonna have lots of jokes going on. And then Caitlin, you're an amazing healer, shaman yourself. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm a shamanic astrologer, healer. I work with energy. I'm trained in biogeometry, really understanding the physics of this reality. And I'm newer to the understanding of subtle energy, but it really, in reflection through my life, it really makes a lot of sense, because I could always sense it, but didn't have any kind of frame of reference for it. Mm-hmm. And part of why I wanted to do this topic is because I get a lot of questions, because I work remotely, and you do as well. Why remote work? works and what's involved, and just kind of exploring what is the ethereal energy and the ether
Mm-hmm.
and subtle energy. It's all kind of one thing, but the different understandings about it, and how that makes it so actually remote work is quite amazing
Mm-hmm.
and totally valid
Yeah.
in our practices. So,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
do way better work remotely or, on the
Yeah.
phone because I can really read energy from, because I get distracted if I can do in-person readings and downloads and tapping in, but I feel way more in my element when I'm just in my own space and then I'm tapping into those energies. It's just easier, and it's just that's like second nature to me, but we're all, I think, more and more learning how to do that, and it's exciting. So that's why I'm excited to, yeah, talk about this topic, because my very first introduction to energy healing, I didn't even know that I could do that. I had friends back in my 20s, they would call me a witch, oh, your witchy ways, because I guess I would just say things that were psychic and reading, the room or people's thoughts and all that. I've learned not to do that. Or I've asked my guides, don't give me information unless I'm in a session. But I found a book, In the Search of Healing Energy. And I, like, when I was 27 or around that age, and I was like, it just resonated so much. And then that kind of was my, long journey of really figuring out, because there's so many different techniques, like your biogeometry, theta healing. I've taken courses in that, Reiki. There's just so many different ways and tools that we have available to tap into that energy and to work with it. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to work with those energies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're here. Whether you want to acknowledge them or not, they're here around us.
Yeah.
And, we're so trained in understanding physical energy in the 3D, and like what is physical is what's valid.
Yeah.
And we really, our science doesn't want to acknowledge subtle energy as
Right.
a part of the actual experience. So it's almost like gaslighting people, because they feel things and they know that
Yeah.
there's something going on, but then you're not encouraged to really explore it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't develop the skills, because all it is developing your skills
Mm-hmm.
and learning how to work with the perceptions of the left brain along with the right brain's ability to tap into the different dimensions. And the right brain is the one that can go out and explore more than the concrete physical scheduling and all that. That's the left brain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in biogeometry, they talk a lot about how we used to be more in the right brain in the ancient cultures, and that's how they knew how to work with alchemy. They had tools, staves, dowsing methods, different ways, pendulums, to work with energies, and they knew the power of number and color and angle and shape to transform energy.
Yeah.
So, and then that kind of got lost over time as we also move more into a left brain dominant culture, which
Mm-hmm.
is where, we've been for a while in the modern age.
And we kind of got
So,
trained into that, right? Things got,
yeah, I
the
mean,
information
our
got taken
whole,
away and manipulated.
yeah, our whole understanding
Yeah.
of history, everything is um so backwards.
Yeah.
So, and it's so programmed. Even our medical, we used to be more into homeopathy pre 1900s, and vibrational medicine was very important. and
Mm-hmm.
a big part of the healing modalities, and it was taken over. Rockefeller medicine took it all over and squashed it. Basically, it still exists, but it's not valid as a, everyone keeps like going to the medical system, and I'm just like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, your body can heal itself. The body is
Yeah,
amazing. And really, with subtle energy, our thoughts are the pure form of subtle energy.
that's right.
And that is like,
Yeah.
if you can really get a hold of your thoughts
Yeah.
and like almost stalk yourself, perceive what you're thinking, not controlling it, but at first you got to just observe, what are my thoughts?
Yeah.
What is the thought forms that are helping to create my experience here?
That's
Because
right.
that's kind of where it begins, with the thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah. The
Yeah.
imagination,
So,
the thoughts truly are, and we are finding out, yeah, that we can manifest what we want. We can manifest what we don't want. That's why, like you said, we have to
well,
be stalkers of,
yeah,
I mean, there's all
stalk
different
yourself.
layers too. So we have to, work this amazing process of releasing energies, from our energy field that don't serve us. But they did start with a thought, and or a lineage frequency that our ancestors had thoughts, like, and so that's where, uh, no, the frequencies, it's all about that, and what we're aligning with as well, for our health.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
remember.
it's interesting. Go ahead.
Well, it is. Yeah. Well, I know science, there's two, both that, because I have, like, years ago, I remember reading, I can't find it anymore, because maybe it just got taken away, but I do remember that science has backed up our thoughts, uh, do affect our energy field and do affect our health. So they have done studies on that. And that was years ago. I was like, oh, finally. But I know there's
Yeah.
science working against us as well. So it's both. It's in the dual, this dual reality we're in.
Yeah,
But
totally.
are learning to read energy and trusting it. So it's, um,
Right.
everybody has it. So just really step into that trust of your feelings, and your, like, those gut feelings when you're like, oh, I knew that. Like, if someone calls and you were thinking of them, that's energy meeting itself with the other person. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is why it's so powerful when you do think and have that happen, when you think of someone and then they call you or you run into them. This is the etheric field.
Yeah.
This is like the whole understanding, is, that we live in a web or a net of energy, that we live in the earth. And these are, concepts that have really been explored in biogeometry. And
Mhm.
I encourage anyone to check out some of the books that have been created, and podcasts and things, interviews with Dr. Ibrahim Karim.
Mhm.
He's amazing. I mean, he's been really looking at this stuff for 45 years, on very deep, deep levels.
Yeah.
And yeah, he talks about the ancients, they understood that we were in this web or a net of energy, and that's where the whole concept, well, it's really raining right now, if you can
Oh,
hear me.
cool.
Um, the whole concept of um, thoughts going out, it's like it travels so much faster, because it's like we're in the ether, and the
Yeah.
ether is this fifth element that isn't really talked about as much, but it is
Yeah.
the webbing and the net. And in ancient Egyptian culture, the gods and goddesses, which were just nature spirits before they were elevated over time to these status that they are now as gods and goddesses, but they were nature spirits or netters. And the netters were the masters of the net because they had mastered the understanding of this energy field all around us and how to work with it.
Yeah.
So there's this whole deception in our history, American history, I should say. I don't know about other cultures, but that we came from real primitive cave-like
Right.
roots, and then somehow now we're in the modern age, and now we have all this information when really, the ancients,
Yeah.
that cave situation could have happened, of course, because there
Right.
have been also resets throughout this realm, and
Yeah.
that is also something that's not talked about. So it's very complicated,
Yeah.
why we don't understand the real beauty of the ancient wisdom, the
Yeah.
Hermetic wisdom. The people wrote about it, philosophers,
Yeah.
you know, they had this understanding, and they really explored,
Yeah.
like, uh, in depth, what is this about? What are the different
Well, because
energies
you
and
have
the
the different,
elements?
the different timelines, the different vibrational spaces, and they really perfected the frequency of being in a more enlightened frequency. And we got pulled out of that through the deception and knowing that, this small group knew that our thoughts and our energy was easily manipulated. And so we got pulled into a more negative, darker, I feel, energy frequency. And now we're learning, like, wait a minute, we have like such power to tap into the ancients' frequency. They knew to work with the plants, to work with, because there's layer upon layer upon layer of like dimensional spaces. I remember a friend of mine, uh, and I do it. I still do it, and it works occasionally when I want to play golf really good, or or something that I want to like be like play like more, better at something. And his name was Bert Goldstein, and he invented the quantum jumping. He taught his students, and he did, like, you jump into another dimensional space. There he is. Oh, I love him.
He's all wet.
He's so, oh my goodness. And you literally go into another, do you imagine going into that other dimensional space where our other self is, where I'm a professional golfer, and then I channel that, that's just, I do, and it actually works when I'm out there golfing. It's like, whoa. But that's how we can work with the different timelines, dimensional spaces, frequencies on that. And I think, like what you're talking about, the ancestors knew how to do that, and to be on the frequency that it, was better, on the positive, and more on the spiritual journey and enlightenment. And we
Yeah, I
went
mean,
away for a little bit.
yeah, another way to put that is that it's a vision. You hold a vision
Right.
of yourself winning, you know,
Yeah.
in that moment of like, oh, I just won the game, whatever they do in the golf, they're like, yes.
Yes, I
Yeah.
got that.
You know, whatever the golf thing is.
Whatever it is.
But you just gotta hold that vision, let it
Yeah.
go, you put it out there into the
Yeah.
ether, and obsess on it. Don't keep thinking about it, but just have that moment of like, yeah, I'm gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And why not do that? So when I'm
Exactly.
working with people and their health, it's like, let's hold a vision of
Yeah.
your, of the outcome. You're gonna be great. I'm like totally going to heal you. And even if it doesn't happen in that
Yeah.
moment, why not have that vision? It's
Right.
like,
That's, well,
it
that's
doesn't have to keep obsessing on the old thing. No,
yeah.
I'm not healed, or I didn't feel this, or I feel that, or everything from the past, that comes up.
Yeah.
People are on these healing journeys,
Mm-hmm.
they come into resonance with diagnosis, and
Mm-hmm.
and it really like perpetuates
Yeah.
dis-ease.
That's right.
So, how do we
That's,
really
yeah.
get a hold of our thoughts then, right? Because this
Exactly.
is about really the thought field
Yeah.
that you're setting yourself up for the
Beliefs, yeah,
next
the
thing,
thought field, belief system, and identifying with labeling,
identifying,
identifying. You got
which
to know
is
that
resonant, which
is
is
which is
resonant.
exactly
It's
same
like
thing. And
there's,
even if you're
yeah,
going through something, which I've done it personally and have healed my body through lots of things. And I will not, I had a biggest teacher in my life that is, my mom. And so, and she's on her journey, but she taught me not, I'm like, oh, that I will not do. And so I just started really diving in, at an early age of like energy healing, knowing our bodies can heal. And then faking it till you make it. You pretend that it's not, you don't pretend, but you say, body, you know what to do. You know how to heal. You are a miraculous healing machine. And yeah, you might be feeling those ailments, but you continue on with giving your body that extra like love and support. And you're retraining, um, maybe in an old loop. And eventually your body does heal anything. Yeah.
yeah,
And that's it. Not
yeah.
a
I know.
diet. Yeah.
I just had this respiratory thing that's been going around,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and a bunch of things happened that gave that I was like vulnerable to this. Because usually I don't get sick, but I worked too hard and got mad about stuff, and it just kind of lowered my frequency, and everything just like came in and took over. But it's funny because every day, even though it's been a couple of weeks, it took me to really get over it, and I was working on myself and doing all that. But every day I'd be like, oh, I feel great today. Even if I don't, I just
Yeah,
am
that's
still
it.
like, oh no, I'm over this, I'm better. Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah.
even if I don't and it's another day, it still is affecting the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I still am taking care of myself and sleeping and all that and doing all the things to
Mhm.
take care of myself. At the same time, I'm like, oh no, I'm better. I'm better already. I'm already healed. I'm already, and it just,
That's
it
and
helps, even
it
though it
does.
still took, days to get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it took
Yeah.
me like I had a shoulder, like a frozen shoulder thing that, midlife people go through, apparently.
Apparently.
Apparently. And I didn't want to I didn't want to admit that, but I was like, and then I just refused to even label what it was. But people were like, oh, you have one of those frozen shoulders. And I was like, but it took a
Nah,
year or even over
nah,
a year. I couldn't even move my arm, but I just kept going, body, you know what to do. You're gonna
yeah.
get through this. And I just like I did all like, just all like all my alternative natural oils and stretching and everything. And going to healers too. So I had a really amazing healer that, he would adjust me and get in there and it did, it went away. So it's,
Yeah.
that's just one example of many, ailments I've cleared out of my body. But we do have the ability to do that. And like you said, like
Yeah.
just saying, okay, you know what to do. And then like in meditation, I consciously say, okay, frequency, wherever you're at, we're raising we're raising it. We're gonna get into a higher frequency and start imagining, like being excited about stuff too, just being here on planet Earth and doing this human experience. So it really is a whole retraining the thoughts from negative to positive because we've been so conditioned to You know, even me, I have to watch my, you know, I can easily slip into a joking, complainy, you know, kind of like,
Right. Yeah.
laugh about like, oh, it's such a shitty looking day out, you know, ha ha ha, you know, or whatever. But I got to
Yeah.
not do that as well. It's like, it's a beautiful day. Anyways, yeah, it's important that we
Yeah.
retrain any kind of even the slightest small negativity thought, because it is affecting the subtle energies and what is going to be manifesting in our life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So good
true.
job with your respiratory. And I keep meaning to say okay, we're on a live, which is amazing. I can't see if we even had, and we did it on YouTube. So we would be
Yeah, I
able
don't think we
to,
know how to even see the chat.
I
Do we
don't
have a
know how to
chat?
signal. That's why I'm like, if there's a chat and there's questions, even with one person, we apologize. We started getting an echo. So I got to look up how to do these lives and see the chat at the same time without
Yeah.
hearing myself. Yeah. So that's going to be the next step, but we'll see you know, the questions or chat like after maybe, yeah, you can see it. I don't know where my phone is. I turn it off when we're doing this so it doesn't get interrupted. Um, so yeah, this is my favorite subject is energy, because I've been able, and it's just so like mainstream now is what I'm seeing, is like people tuning in with their own energy and what is it, and wanting and knowing that there is something more to what we've been doing. So that, you know, there's so many different words with the conscious shift that we're going through. And like you said, it's always been there. I love that because I resonate with that, like the new earth, the ascension, the 5D, whatever, the great awakening is our consciousness really just aligning with a frequency that's always been there. We just had gotten pulled out of it, right? That's what you've said. I think
Yeah.
it resonates with
Well,
me.
and everything goes in cycles. So everything is cyclical, right? In history and
Yeah.
um what is happening now is another kind of rebirth of understandings. Things are coming, and also we have so much access to information, it can
Yeah.
be overwhelming. There's a lot of bad information out there also, but there is, you know, this amazing ability to tune into really crucial information that we wouldn't just be exposed to.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Yeah. That's it.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, so I also wanted to get into why remote work
Oh yeah.
works.
Yeah.
And I
Amazing.
kept saying it wrong, like remote work works.
Remote
Why
work.
remote work? You know, kids talk like that
Yeah.
with their arms. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So what's your take on the remote, like
well,
when you're reading?
you know, it's fascinating because for me, it comes natural. I'm able to tune like quickly too. And it's always been like, I've known that it's faster than the speed of light, the way that I can just tune in with energy and then read people's Akashic record. But I can also, you're saying remote. So I took a remote viewing class. It was just, I was like, you know, what is this all about? I know that I can, you know, my kids are always like, where's my this? Where's my that? I have friends that call me the finder because they're like, where's my sweater? You know, and I'm able to find stuff because I have to get quiet though and make sure the ego mind doesn't get in and then find the object. And so I took this remote viewing course and class. It was just like a couple hours and it was so fun. She's really good. I really like her stuff, and I'll put her. She's on Instagram, and I just liked her class. She did it really well. I think Elizabeth Hancock is her name, but I'm not sure. So I'll put that in the. So what she did though is she just gave me coordinates. And so this is why it's so fascinating with energy and being able to tap into wherever you need to tap into on planet Earth. And so she gave me coordinates and I don't know coordinates. I don't even know which way's north, a lot of, you know, south. Like I
What?
Okay, I do keep on the island because I'm like, north is that way. But when
Don't
I
say that to the nagging priestess. Learn your directions.
That's I
Uh,
know, right? The ceremonial nagging priestess. What do you mean you don't know your
ah,
direct? I know
God,
because I'm
a
always
Virgo
into.
rising, are you?
I know I should, yeah. So, but for me, I'm always just in the other realms, and so I'm like, do I need to know direction? No. So, anyways, she gave me all these numbers of coordinates, and she gave me three places to tune in with, and I literally, so I got, I got them all, like she where these places were, and by the third one I was so good at, I described it to a T where it was, and then she gave me a test at the end with things that were on her desk, and I was able to tap into her desk and tell her what was on her desk. So it was like fascinating stuff with the remote. It really does work. And I feel anybody can do it. It's just practice. It's working, um, just like playing soccer or whatever. You practice it. I feel like I could be better. I could have been better, with that, but, that's where the proof is of the energy and that we can connect with that. And if there's parents out there, because this is like proof also that you are tuned in, when you're tuned in with your child, like, um, like if something's wrong with your child, like you can feel them emotionally, or if they've been hurt, you can feel that, and they can be way far away. And so that's a good, practice too, or guidance, just knowing that connection, and knowing, I mean, the first steps is really knowing that the energy is real. And so, that's like the
Right?
steps. Yeah. And on that, and then there's tons of good books, and just on how to work with your own energy and tap in remotely. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. And I know you're, really good at it. So you like, even though it's new for you, you said, but you grasp the concept, and then biogeometry is amazing. So the way that energy works, and it works really well with me, because I'm like, yes. So when you work on me, it's remotely, it's like, whoa, yeah, it totally shifted. And that's energy healing as well.
Yeah.
So being able, yeah, so the energy healing, because that's what, when you go into someone's frequency and do that, it's super powerful stuff. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And one of the things is in the vibrational energetic world is that a part or a piece of something represents the whole.
Mhm.
So in
Yes.
biogeometry, I work from a photograph of you from any time in your life, or a swipe of your cells on a piece of paper, or a hair, which I don't really do that, um, but I can, because it all represents you.
The energy.
And
Yeah.
these guys who do holographic blood work, they can see the core initial
Mm-hmm.
thing that happened to you that caused your health problems
Wow.
in one drop of blood.
Wow.
So, because one drop of blood
That's right.
represents the whole system. And
Yeah.
then also, if they change that one drop of blood, it will change the blood in the body. So, there's a whole thing with that that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah, totally.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so I work with these special pendulums that were designed to measure subtle energy. And then everyone has, there's the physical energy, but there's vital, emotional, spiritual, and what was the other one? Vital, emotional, spiritual, physical. There's one
Menopause.
more.
I can't wait till the fog. Can't wait till the fog lifts
Yeah,
with
I
menopause.
know. I
It
gotta
will.
like this brain is huge, but it's like not making connections. Anyway, there's 5 parts to the body and we have emotional bodies, we have etheric bodies. So there's more than one
Yeah.
system here.
Yep.
So when I work with people, I'm able to change the energy of disturbances in the body by working with a witness of them and then measuring with a chart, different charts of the body, meridian charts, organ charts, all the different, and go through the system. And I could see where things are disturbed, which
Wow.
doesn't mean disease, but as I keep doing it, I get better at it. So that's the whole thing, is like in trusting yourself
Yeah.
and not getting into the ego, which is like, I know what this probably is. You
Right.
have to be like totally in neutrality, which
Yep.
is a whole other thing that is very important here and very challenging, because
Yeah.
then we get into people's astrology and things like that, the way they want, it's
Yeah.
like, for you being Aquarius, you can be like, yeah, everything is amazing, right? Because that's the Aquarian way.
Everything's
But I'm like
great.
a Libra,
It's a
and I'm like,
flow,
oh,
and I know.
Justin.
Like I know. It's like
Yeah,
I know
as you know,
everything and
as your
everything's
guides
great.
told you, talk about everything.
Well, that was my so
So
funny when you said that because I did that when I was a kid all the time. I know, I do it. My mom's like,
I know.
you do it then, but I didn't know how to do it. It's like, I was learning to tie my shoe. I do it. I know. And she was like, so I've been doing it. I've had to learn to, yeah. Well, when I'm in readings, I definitely step aside because the times that I
Yeah, yeah,
haven't. So now I'm
yeah,
like, I have that perfected where I just channel through and I step aside.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's so funny.
yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah, so it's like you really got to put the what you think, you know.
yeah.
But then there is also an intuitive sense you have about people that you're
Yes.
working with.
Yeah. Because it's
But
their,
even that, you still have to like be kind of in this neutral space.
yeah.
And I mean, in biogeometry, one of the ancient understandings, they could find people. People go missing. They
Yeah.
could find people using these dowsing methods, because wherever the person has been
Yeah.
leaves an essence of
I just was
themselves.
going to say that like 5 minutes ago. I was like, don't forget to say, because we leave essences of ourselves everywhere. And we really have to be conscious of that and call it all back so we're not depleted in this now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of the healing journey, is
Yeah.
really calling back all the parts of yourself.
Yeah.
And there, and we, I mean, we have many parts to ourselves. So it's not like there's one self, there's many.
Yeah.
So, and it's just getting them all to work together, and be together in one physical form. So that's part of like doing all the work with the ancestry and resolving issues of the past so you can become more present. I mean, there's
Mhm.
a lot of things you have to clear. Like I had to clear the field first before I got into really understanding subtle energy. And then I could use it to explain, oh, yes, when I was a child, I actually had a bad spirit around me that I allowed in.
Mm.
So I was really physically and I was like going through a whole level of torture.
Wow.
Um, I know, and I didn't really understand it. My parents didn't understand it,
Mm. Yeah.
nightmares, screaming bloody murder in the night, all kinds of things that they don't understand. Doctors don't understand how to, and I've heard this from many people who channel
Right.
now and didn't understand, energy later, because
Yeah.
children are deeply spiritual.
Mm.
When you come to this realm, the early years, you're very much in the spirit realm,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
very aware of subtle energy. And
Yeah.
so that's something that gets kind of knocked out of you, but it is real with kids, and they don't really know how to address it. There's no kind of
Well,
support for
they used
parents.
to, our ancestors did before we got
Ah,
before our reality got pulled out from underneath us or who we really are, you know. And so there's the whole asshole dark you know, so that's
Agenda.
agenda.
Which
Uh,
are real. It's
it's,
not like,
yeah,
it's not real. It's definitely a thing.
yeah,
We don't want to be in resonance with it, but it is something to acknowledge,
it is.
that there are forces out there.
Yeah,
So, but this realm is a dual nature realm, and we are actually dual natured in our bodies too, with the toroidal field that's
right.
around, it's coming from the center out. One side is like the breathing out, the other one is like the breathing in. It's like the veins and the blood and the arteries. It's this
Yeah.
red shift, blue shift,
Ooh, yeah.
um electric and magnetic.
Yeah.
So we represent the whole of this earth too, because the earth has that same kind of energy too. So
Well, that's how
yeah.
I feel
So
like we had, like, that's part of like our spiritual growth is coming into this, into the dual um field and learning. But it got out of balance with the asshole dark. And so, so it's like the pendulum swung way too far on the dark side, and now we're having to recorrect it. But I do feel like that, yeah, is part of the journey, and the excitement of being here is learning through the dual, that dual,
yeah,
that,
well, there wouldn't be the learning if we didn't
yeah,
have the dual
right,
nature. It would
right.
just be paradise and everything, la la la.
Ready for that.
So
That's
if we,
Mary, and I'm like, let's
the
just have,
dual nature, yeah, the
yeah, the
dual
dual,
nature has a purpose. The duality is, to
yeah,
become a master of
yeah,
the net,
yeah,
self-master.
that's right.
So
It's all the inner
yeah,
journey. I can't say that enough on every podcast we do, and videos that I do. It's literally all the inner journey, and self everything that you're having an experience with whoever it is with is a reflection to what is going on within the self. My and you know the saying, if you're pointing a finger at somebody, then it's the Native American, three are pointing back at you. And so that term, when I went on a family trip to Tahoe, I I always pictured the finger pointing and then three at me pointing back. But he did the thing. He's like, yeah, a finger's pointing at you, and then three are pointing back. I was like, oh, that's it. That's so cool. Like, yes. So the inner journey. Yes. The only way out is in, quote.
well, and we're not here to save the world. The
Yeah.
world is going to do its thing,
Yeah.
regardless.
And family
So
members and
that's,
friends and best friends and acquaintances are all on their own spiritual path, and we're not responsible for that. And yeah, we're
yeah.
only responsible for our own well-being and happiness and all that. And that actually will help others raise their frequency and learn as well.
Yeah. And when you come to help others and be of service as a whole being, you're really going to help. It's like if you come as a wounded person who is not thinking that we have to fix the outer to first before anything else, you're not helping, actually. You're actually creating more of a problem.
Right.
So,
It's the, yeah.
yeah,
What is it called when you're aiding and abetting? No. It's
I don't know. I don't know.
it called when you're like you helping somebody along with their
Part of the problem.
dysfunction? I forgot the word. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
So, this is like the understanding of remote work.
Mm,
I kind of have a vision of like, okay, so we're in this field of energy. So when I'm tuning in with somebody through a witness of them, like a photograph and measuring with my pendulum, it's like I feel like I'm measuring the etheric energy around them,
yeah.
around the body.
Yeah.
So it is like this interesting, if you can imagine this whole webbing around us.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I'm kind of tuning into
That's
now
cool.
when I'm
Yeah.
measuring. And
The
so it is a really,
feel.
like, some people just don't feel it's like it's valid, and it is so valid. And I questioned this in the beginning too. I was like, well, if I'm doing a remote session, how's that gonna, it's like I
Yeah.
want to do it in person. And
Yeah.
it's like, you don't understand. I had no understanding of that. And I didn't even know how to say subtle energy. I said subtle energy. I did, I was just like clueless. So it's really cool to like
Oh, yeah.
now be able to really understand my feelings and why I'm having certain just a reaction, or of people's energy when I go out and I'm in public with people. And it's like, oh, and then I can also feel now the vibe when they start promoting things in the news, and they start blanketing out with this one message like they do, right? How
Yeah.
you've seen those videos where it's like all the news channels are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
they're so twisted.
like,
But
whoa.
when they do that, you can go out into, the town where you live or whatever, and
Yeah.
like you can feel that
Yeah.
energy that's being put out. Oh, another war is coming. Oh, more plague
That's
is coming.
wild.
Oh, you can feel
Yeah.
people's they're
Yeah.
they're being influenced and they don't
Yeah.
even know it.
Yeah.
And it's putting out a field. So the more people have that energy, because a part represents the whole, the more they're just helping that agenda.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because we can actually change the world
Hmm.
through our own, getting really right with our own energy field and understanding it on this deep level. That is the way we can actually change the world,
That's right.
not actually going to a protest and creating more drama that never gets resolved, and
No.
wanting the politicians to do things which they never do,
Yeah.
and recognize this stalled century, that nothing is really being
Right.
everything is like this illusion. But
It is.
really, if you get right with yourself, you actually are changing the world, you're changing the energy field.
Yeah.
So in holding that center.
That's exactly. Yeah, it's holding the that timeline is what I call it. It's just my wording, but yeah, it's holding the frequency, grounding
You
in.
and your timelines.
I
Just
love
kidding.
timelines. I love timelines.
Yes, timelines.
Frequency, dimensional space, vibration.
Timeline.
Yeah. But we are holding that God source frequency when we're whole within ourselves, and that's where the the negative agendas fade away. And that's, yeah, it's super powerful. So that's why it's so important
Yeah,
to not give all of those agendas energy. Yeah. And it's a fine line
because
because yeah,
yeah,
there, there's
it is a fine line.
horrific things happening out there, and it's how do you really stop that? It's so I'm thankful to the people that are on the front lines that, and then because then when I go my aquarium, I expand out, and so we all have a role that we're playing in this
Right.
of ascension that we're going through, and so I'm thankful for everybody's role. Yeah, and we can't
Yeah,
judge.
everybody has a different role. That's where astrology comes in too, just like
Yeah,
helping to
yeah.
understand your divine purpose, why
Mhm.
you're here.
Yeah,
You have a specific thing for you to learn and
yeah,
to master
yeah,
and contribute. So, but for all of us, it's about your vibration, how you're going to experience
right.
the energies here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so to do that is to meditate, find some good meditations that you can really feel your energy field, because I know there's some good ones out there, and practice with your own energy, because you can kind of like, I remember when a long time ago going to a Chinese healer, and she like had us feel the energy between her hands, and like I can feel it right there. You can literally feel energy in between your own hands.
Mhm.
Get out in nature. I can't say that enough. I know you go for walks every day. That is like straight up like connection to source is
Well, it's
nature.
connection,
And then
and it's because our bodies are also polarized. The right is a positive, the left is a negative. When we're moving, we're actually clearing the body of energy. So if you're outside, and movement is huge. So some people, they can't sit and meditate. It's not going to help them. Their minds are
that's
like, la, 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 la.
right.
So move,
Walking is
move,
meditation. That's yeah,
dance,
I should have been more clear, but meditation can be
cross
one of the
body
yeah, yeah.
movements that really help the brain interact.
Mm,
That's why I dance,
yeah,
to keep me out of my monkey mind.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
there's a
So that's
lot of ways, a lot of
yes.
techniques, and it's not
These
one
right.
for everybody.
That's why we're good.
So
That's why we're given a list of what you guys can do out there to help
mm,
connect you to your own energy field and to start reading the energy around you. So
yeah.
like tons, like just these few techniques to tap in to that. And it's exciting stuff because we're moving into some awesome times. Is how
Yeah. Well, and
yeah.
it's not gonna resolve itself. The outer world is always gonna be this chaotic. I don't know. I mean, we could get to better places in it
Yeah.
within it, but we can't rely on this, all being resolved because that is never, I don't know. That's never really,
Well, and we don't
it's
have to
more about
resolve it because that's
we
actually
don't
like
have to.
talked about earlier is we're not going to go into resonance with that chaotic energy that will always be there. So we're going to
Yeah.
choose to not be in that and to go into resonance, align with, the frequencies of, just more peace, more love, more, um,
Yeah.
just being
Yeah.
not in such a difficult dual reality. So we do have the choice and it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, this has
hey,
been a great
thank you.
conversation.
Yay.
And also, it's important to break your patterns if you want to create
Oh
new
yeah.
realities. So, Janae
So
and I just broke our patterns by going live. We don't know what's going on in the live.
what's going
Probably
on?
nothing,
I don't
but
know.
it's been
I don't know
fun as an
how
experiment
I
to
love
just
it.
do it.
So yeah, thanks for joining us. If you joined us, and then of course we're recording it, and then we'll post it later. And again, my name is Janae Sansaray. I am an Akashic Records librarian. I can read energy and tune in, and I do sessions and help clear old patterns, old thoughts, and get you resonating in a new frequency to be more joyful and excited about your life. And Caitlin, you're an amazing healer. Why don't you again tell us what you do?
Well, I'm a shamanic astrologer and a healer, and I work with energy to raise the vibration in the body and on the land. Also, I can do a lot to raise the vibration in with electricity. Also, we didn't talk about electricity and how harmful it is. It's being touted as like this amazing alternative, and it's quite damaging to
We
the
can
body and to the
next
subtle
again.
energy process.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah.
about
So
electricity and AI and how there's good and bad and how like I think that could be a whole thing because I
yeah,
love
that could be a whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I work with a lot of different things to raise the vibration in
Yeah,
the home and the environment
and you're really
and your
good at
body.
your body. Yeah.
And I make
Right.
jewelry. And I make
Yes,
jewelry and I do
Hillary.
yeah.
Yes. You're an amazing jeweler too that you've been doing for years. So I love
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to do all these different things because I was just a jeweler for many years. So I love doing it,
yeah.
all the things.
Yeah, that's part of that's the excitement of being here. So good. So
It
go
is.
excited in your guys' lives out there, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay. And then, oh yeah, like, subscribe, and please like the video if
Yeah,
you
I kind of have a channel. I don't have that many people
yeah, go
subscribed, but
subscribe to Caitlin's
I do
channel. I'll
post
put
it.
all the information and descriptions and
My
all that.
website, all
The
that. Yeah.
that little description. Okay. All right.
The box.
Good luck to everybody. Bye for now. Okay.
Ah,
Okay, so we're gonna stop the recording. So that was good. And then
you're on
now
YouTube still.
I know.
I
So
think you're on
let's
YouTube.
see. This meeting is being live streamed. So let's um go in here and then stop live stream. Okay. So if you were on our live stream, thank you for joining us. And we'll go see if there's any questions. If not, but we're going to continue to live stream.